Hello, and welcome to the EnvironMental podcast. We are your hosts, Ob and Court, and thank you so much for being here.
Yep, today we are graced with the presence of Christina Pirello. She's the host of Christina Cooks on public television. Christina, tell us a little bit about what you do and kind of how you started Christina Cooks.
So I started Christina. The beginning, starting over. I became a vegetarian when I was 14 years old because my father had the opportunity to work in a slaughterhouse, and my father was 6'2" of Irish muscle and came home in tears and said he couldn't do it, which was kind of the nail in the coffin for me eating meat because I didn't love it anyway. And then from there, it became I got sick with cancer at 26 and healed myself with food and started to really go down the rabbit hole of, if food can do this, why isn't everybody doing this? And then the bigger picture became, if food can do this and we can heal each other, couldn't we also heal the planet? And then it became, because I was always vegan, and vegan, of course, starts with animal rights. And then it became for me about human health. And now, honestly, after 30 years on TV and 41 years as a vegan, I can honestly say I'm much more concerned about planetary health and sustainability than I am about individual. Not that I don't care about humans, because I do, but people are going to do what they do and everyone does the best they can. But now it's much bigger picture for me. You know, I have all these children in my life and I wonder what we're leaving them. And for me, sustainability has come, it's right here all the time. And every time I get on a plane, I'm currently in France. Every time I get on a plane, I think, am I undoing all the good I do in my day-to-day life the second I get on this plane? But one of the reasons I do get on the plane is because in the TV show, we have started covering in Italy, mostly right now, the efforts towards sustainability and sustainable practices, and how in every single little Airbnb you rent in Italy, there's 5 containers where you separate your trash and they actually really recycle and they actually really do what they're saying and have lowered their greenhouse gases in some cases by as much as 65%. And they're doing it. And I realize they're a smaller country. They're not as big as America, and they don't have like states' rights like we do and all the individualism that we talk about, but they're doing it. So it can be done. So we interview producers and growers and all these people who are trying to save the planet. That's what we do on the show.
I appreciate that. And I definitely understand about the plane, being an expat living in Europe and going home. Sometimes it's like, you know, we do all this work and our dedication to sustainability. Am I undoing that? Like, it's hard. That's a hard line to.
It's a hard question. And, you know, people hand me a plastic water bottle and I think I act like it's leprosy. Like, oh God, not that, not a plastic water bottle.
No!
You know? Because I use my own bottles and, you know, we do all these things. And the beauty of the efforts now, though, for me, I mean, I see a great deal of hope in young people like you and like the people in my life. But I also think that young people are done talking about it. You know, we can look at our governments and they're going to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And as long as there's money not in it for them, they're not going to do anything. I'm sorry to sound cynical, but they're just not. So for me, watching young people actually take action and make the changes that we're currently seeing in this country, in my own country, makes a big difference for me. Like, gives me a lot of hope and a lot of sort of juice to keep going.
That's great. And I know you've been an activist for a really long time. And so I'm excited to ask you this question, because we ask all of our guests now, and you've been doing it for so long. I'm curious if you thought about it or if you have an answer to what you feel like your role is in the transition to a sustainable future.
Well, I feel like in the beginning, my role was simply to get people to make better food choices for personal health. Now I think my voice has become make better food choices for the generations to come. Make better food choices for the health of the planet and for the people around us. it has to become more bigger picture. And so in the beginning, it was really about choosing a plant-based diet, a vegan diet, in order to sustain human health. But now the evidence is so clear that climate change is real and that the second largest producer is production of food, that our food choices have a massive impact. So as a chef, I kind of see my role as helping people understand that food is so much more important than our personal desires or what it is that we think we can get away with. And at the same time, letting them realize that the food is delicious. They're not giving anything up. It's not grim deprivation. It's not sprouts and boiled tofu, that the food is actually creative and delicious, and they don't have to eat, even within the vegan world, these ultra processed fake butter, fake ice cream, fake milk, fake whatever, that they can eat real food, live well, eat as though it's decadent, although it isn't, and be a contributor to the solution rather than remaining part of the problem. It's that simple, which was long-winded, sorry.
No, that was beautifully succinct, honestly. That was it's so inspiring. Like, what do you think about kind of the like ways in which food is produced? I know that that's so different all over the world, and we've been thinking a lot about regenerative agriculture. We speak to a lot of people. I guess, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, regenerative agriculture here is the norm of the day. That's what they do. And they don't have the space. They don't have big factory farms. They don't have big monocultures. They don't have it. One of the things I love about France and Italy is that and they're kind of sad about it because they can't export to us as much as they would like to and make more money. But in the end, they're actually the guys doing the right thing, sustainability and no waste. Like, we interviewed, it's going to run this season. We interviewed a balsamic vinegar producer who is biodynamic, organic, and absolutely zero waste. Not an ounce of plastic in their factory, not an ounce of plastic in their packaging. Their shipping boxes are pressed grape must that they use that can decompose and biodegrade when you get your vinegar. Even the little cork that you take the glass lid off to put your cork in, that comes in a little box made from grape must. So they're a family business, it's 4 generations, and they know their vinegar is more expensive. They get that. They know that not every single person in the world is going to buy it, but their commitment to the future generations who will produce balsamic vinegar is what drove me crazy. And I loved being with them. And they still stir their compost biodynamically 1 hour this way, 1 hour this way by hand. And they don't produce that much, but they are, their name is Acetaya Guerzoni out of Modena. And between them and then a pasta and olive oil producer who heats their entire factory with the pressed dried pits and branches of the olive trees after they harvest, it's so easy to not waste. And I think the wealth of America is what drives us to waste. Italy's not a rich country. France is not a rich country. And I think the good news about America is we can get anything anytime. The bad news about America is we can get anything anytime.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that kind of leaves us to say, well, I'll just get rid of this now and I'll just toss that. And what impact is this bottle going to have? And so I'm drinking plastic, at the airport. What difference does it make? And to me, the message has to be every single little thing you do has an impact. It's like your vote. We say it doesn't matter if I vote, but it does, as we've all seen. So that one plastic bottle you throw away at the airport, not in the recycling bin, does have an impact. It just does. And so to me, that's the biggest part of the message. But I'm seeing that change as well, Aubrey, a lot. Like, people are realizing every little action they take has an impact, mostly younger people.
Yeah, I think there is a lot. We're at a good time for it, right? We're right at the cusp of a very big shift in transition. I think it might get kind of ugly soon. We've talked about this.
There's an ancient Chinese curse that says, "May you live in interesting times," and here we are.
Very
I'm just
interesting.
saying, girls, here we are.
Yes.
And I do think it's going to get ugly before it gets better. I do. I mean, politically, it's going to be ugly. Business-wise, it's going to be ugly. A very wise man once said to me, if I knew how much lobby money was being spent to keep the sustainability message under wraps, I would quit my job. And I do believe that that's true now. And not just in America, I think it's global. You know, although it's interesting because I don't know what they want. You know, if the planet's gone, they don't have anything else to make money of either. So hello. Yeah. I know.
We've definitely had that conversation before too. Just like, what's the end goal of not wanting a sustainable future?
I mean, does someone think that someone's going to come and write a big check and fix it all? Because that's not going to work this time. It's not going to work this time. You know, and I worry every single day about the planet that, I mean, I come from my mother was a hippie. You know, I have photographs of me as a little girl with sandwich boards on me saying, don't drop bombs on me, don't pollute my water. So it's sort of in my DNA. And I still worry every single day, did I do enough for your generation and the generation after you that's coming? Or am I part of the guilt of the generation that after the 60s said, well, life's a party, let's go. Vietnam's over, we have all this money, we have sprawl, we can live in the suburbs and shop at big box stores and have big freezers full of stuff we're never going to eat. Like, am I part of that? Although I didn't live that way, did I do enough? I'm always going to question, did I do enough? I think it's okay.
That
it's okay that I do that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's okay. I think that's actually really refreshing to hear. And that's a really refreshing message to share because we have that too. You know, we are also living in the times when, you know, I think I was a teenager when the president said, it's okay, just go shopping. You know,
yes. Oh my gosh, right? Go shopping. Sorry, the light's changing behind me as we speak. It keeps going.
It's okay.
But yeah, I remember that too. You were a kid, but I remember too and thinking, wait, what? Go shopping?
Yeah, but we still live in that time. And like, we still, you know, and we work with people that are actively working on changing legacy businesses and making real tangible solutions. Like, we are being part of the solution, but there's always that question, am I doing enough? Any little thing that that we do when we are like it's an organic lip balm. I use it all the time, but it's in plastic.
Throwing the little plastic thing away. I know.
I'm going to feel guilty when this is done, even though it's clear plastic. I'm going to take this thing off. I still bought plastic.
Yeah, I know. You know? And you stand in the cosmetic aisle and you don't buy the mascara that comes on the paper in the plastic and in the plastic tube, right? You minimize your packaging.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty of all of this is that with everyone talking about it, more and more people, I think, are paying attention and saying, I'm not going to buy the thing in triple packaging. It doesn't have to be triple sealed. You know, it's okay. And then we had the pandemic. And I think about the pandemic all the time, just the masks alone in the landfill and all medical gear. And certainly we needed it, of course. You know, we had to do what we had to do. But, you know, and then there was the whole push toward don't go out, eat at home, get all this fast food delivered in all the packaging. Plastic bags came back. And so now I feel like in a way we're starting from a more level playing field because everybody's now in the same boat and a little scared. So maybe the jumping off point will be easier because while people did not come out of the pandemic kinder and gentler as I thought they would, we are all more in one spot of being a little bit afraid of what the future holds. Will there be another one? So I think it's easier, I have found, to convince people to make better choices now after the pandemic.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think. Yeah. I think that also just kind of the economic times are also just forcing people to reevaluate what is like where their values
people are scared. And rightly so. You know, if this could happen and devastate the world as it did, partly because human health is not as strong as it could be because we choose to eat every day as though it's Christmas and Thanksgiving. And, that was one scary thing. And so maybe people will be more concerned about their wellness, and it becomes this kind of snowball effect of, well, how can I be better now that it's time to be better? And maybe I'm just, a merry sunshine optimist who, I don't know, but it's not going to make me work any less hard. It makes me work harder to make a difference.
Yeah, I resonate with that. Like you want it, you get inspired and move forward when you see action. And right now, I think we're seeing so much more action. Like we've been operating Dandelion for almost 5 years. And
Wow,
in the
congratulations.
thank you. And in the beginning, there wasn't anybody talking about sustainable marketing. There wasn't anybody really talking about sustainability. Sustainability was like bamboo toothbrushes. And it was us. It was us and and the bamboo toothbrush people. And now we're seeing tech come up, new tech solutions. And
Listen, I can remember when sustainability was carrying your canvas bag to the supermarket. Even though you were buying all kinds of packaged goods, you had your canvas bag, so you were part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Look, we're still there, kind of,
We're still there.
But that's,
but you know what? You know what, Aubrey? I'll take any positive action that somebody takes. Anything they'll do, I'm in. So I kind of feel like part of my message and part of the message of the show is whatever you can do, please do. If it's little, if it's big, doesn't make a difference. But please don't do nothing. I know that was a double negative, but please don't do nothing, because nothing doesn't work. Nothing is not going to help future generations. Nothing's not going to help us as the current people who live here as well. Summers are hotter. They're not going to get cooler. It's almost the end of October, and the first cool weather is finally coming into my hometown on the East Coast of the US.
Same here in the Netherlands.
Yeah, Italy's still in the 80s. France is still in the 80s. It's October. So, it's going to be hard to put this genie back in the bottle, but I still, Mary Sunshine, believe we can. I do. I think we can maybe not fix it, but we can sort of stop it, maybe turn it back a little so the planet remains livable. Because if the planet's too hot, we can't grow food either. It's like, I sometimes wonder, are none of these politicians making the connection that if there's no food and there's no water, they have no one to govern? Hello? And a lot of it is men. I get it. And they don't think the way we think. I'm not a male basher, but they don't think the way women think. And women are the activists in this scenario because we're the ones that have the children that are going to be affected by all of this. Not that they don't care about their kids, but it usually is women driving this bus.
Absolutely. It's across the board. And it always has been for sustainability, right? Like women have been the folks stepping up because we do see the impact that like continuing on the trajectory we're on are going to have on future generations. And we don't go, we don't say, okay, well, we'll just throw money at it. We go, no. And we do. And we also aren't going like, we need power. We need to spend our money on getting more power. Like that isn't a female trait.
It isn't. I mean, think about this. You guys are really young, so you probably don't remember this, but it was many years ago, and Meryl Streep appeared on a talk show, and she had with her a bushel of apples, and the hosts were like, I don't know, are you playing Snow White in a movie? Like, what's happening here? And she said, these apples are coated with a product called alar, and it's toxic for our children, and it should not be on apples, and we should not buy these commercially grown apples. Within 3 business days, every supermarket had bushel after bushel after bushel of organic apples. So they knew that they could get them. But it took a woman using her voice to say, we can do better. So as women, I don't think we get to rest. I think we have to keep standing up and keep saying we can do better and forcing it.
I love that message. I think that's really beautiful. And I really, let's end it on a high note because that's so beautiful and so inspirational. Tell us where people can find you. Talk to us about where they can connect with you.
Yep. Everything we do, even though my name's Christina Pirello, everything we do is Christina Cooks. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's not Twitter anymore, whatever it is.
Whatever.
And my website is my website's Christina Cooks. That's kind of, I really don't answer a lot of messages on social media. I'll answer comments, but if people really want to reach me, there's a contact us on the website and they can send an email, and I read almost everything that I have time to read. So everything is Christina Cooks. And there's 13 cookbooks, all plant-based. The TV show runs across the country. We are putting old episodes up on YouTube over the next several months, so people will be able to watch it other places. And that's it, pretty much.
Wow.
It's
That's
incredible.
really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love my job.
Incredible. Thank you so much for the work
Thank
that
you
you
so
love
much.
doing. It's absolutely so inspiring and just really eye-opening. And I can't wait to start actually trying some of your recipes.
Thank you.
Yeah, 13 cookbooks. I'm sold. Vegan? Yes.
Need it. Yes, thank you everyone for watching. Go check out Christina Cooks and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.